Hello everybody, it's that time again. It's Moonbase time with me, Andy, and him, Spray Paint Mikey. Hello, Mikey.
Spray Paint Mikey.
Spray
like
paint
Leroy
Mikey.
Johnson.
Oh my god. I was thinking more like Banksy. Mikey is
Leroy
Banksy.
Johnson.
No, I like the idea of you being Banksy, the new Banksy, the artistic Mikey, who goes out and paints the world.
I want to be Banksy.
I never put too much stock in his artwork, to be honest. I looked at it.
Well, no, that's because it's not good.
No, it was that kind of it was better than modern art, but it's kind of still.
Well, like he's a gimmick.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I say this not intending anything mean against the guy in any way, shape, or form.
I think he's got enough money for us not to care, for him or her not to care.
They get their anonymity. They get anything they need. They're very wealthy. Yeah. I don't really care.
No. It's hard to care about being mean to people who are vastly richer than you. Yeah,
especially when they're rich on a gimmick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You almost feel jealous that you didn't get on the gimmick at the start as well. It's like, damn, I should have done that.
Why, Andy, are not you Banksy?
I don't know. I've had too much time, effort, hope. I don't know, things like that. The usual.
Hang on, Andy has too much hope.
No. They would have too much hope.
Okay, so
they require hope to inspire art and whatnot.
And Andy's just bitter.
Yes, I've got little plastic men I paint, so that's good enough for me.
Yes.
To the usual standard. Mikey, we could talk about Transformers if you like. Do you want to?
I mean, do we have to?
We don't have to. We need to get the podcast rolling, but we frequently don't talk about Transformers.
True.
So yeah. Well, we'll let the conversation fly. If Mikey takes us down the dark path of non-Transformers news, well, that's your fault.
Yeah, Part 3. Yeah.
Did you say Jippos?
Hippos.
Oh, I was gonna say that's a interesting way for Mikey to go.
We're going down cultural insensitivity road.
Mikey's hatred of the gypsies. Oh, Mikey. Oh, you little lad, you with your little rosy cheeks and hateful talk.
Oh, you. That's that Mikey. Took me outside like I don't know, what do you call them? Like over here we call them travelers or itinerants and I can say that because I'm literally near the biggest traveler town in Ireland, and many of my neighbors and friends are travelers. Yeah. So but it's just standing outside what do you call it? We have designated land for it. I'm trying to remember what the name is. Halting site. Standing outside a halting site with a pitchfork and a torch.
A holding site.
Yeah. It's like, go back where you came from. Go back. And they're just like, Mikey, is that you? No, Mikey.
It feels
we've told you about the riots. No one's coming.
It feels like the start of a Father Ted. Or like a random gag in a Father Ted episode.
I'd be shocked if there wasn't a Father Ted episode about it.
Oh, there must have been. Well, lots of good Father Ted, though. All right, let me play some music for people, Mikey, and we can get the ball rolling because it's warm as well. All right, music time.
Very warm.
Music time.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decade Andy, a man who drips sweat from his nipples, and those drips turn into droplets that turn into a river, that turn into a sea, and that sea forms Mikey. Hello, Mikey.
I'm left with more questions than I ever thought I'd ever have.
That's okay. You don't need the answers. Isn't life more interesting sometimes when you're not given the answers?
I mean, you could say that, but sometimes you didn't want to know the question either.
Oh, yeah, but so you're not given that option. Life doesn't give you that choice. I don't want to know the question. Too late.
Too late. Someone's asked it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an Eldritch Horror kind of riddle thingamadoo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Andy's Eldritch Horror. I'm trying to picture. Andy does Cthulhu.
Oh, I wouldn't have sex with Cthulhu. He's too big. He's too manly.
I mean, there is a dating game for Cthulhu.
That's true. There is. Yeah. There's a lot of
is fun.
games. Yeah.
Well, like there's both the Cthulhu dating game, and then there's the million other like, hey, we're a regular Japanese anime thing. Nothing bad is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad is coming. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
We only got like one season of that, didn't we? With Nyarlathotep.
Oh my god. No, you got like 5.
Did we get 5? Was it? I didn't think it was that long.
Added OVAs. I think there was a movie as well.
What's that? In my mind, it was like Monster Musume, which only got the 1 season.
No, Nyarlathotep went on for a good long while.
Nyarlathotep got multiple seasons. Monster Musume got 1.
Yep.
No justice.
Yep.
No justice. I can't believe it. How are you doing though, Mikey? You doing well, apart from the horrors of realization that there is no Monster Musume season 2, and yet the manga still goes on?
Yep. There is much material for them to adapt.
Lads.
Yeah, lads.
There you go. you got it. But you're doing well. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You've not convinced me, but that's okay. You just need to convince yourself at the end of the day.
Exactly.
We're here to talk about Transformers. Would you say there's a girthy amount of news this week, Mikey?
There is what I would call news.
Mm-hmm. Some fun bits of news. I'd throw that out. Some okay bits. Some things to actually talk about rather than just like talk about like trailer previews and all that jazz, which again we're not doing. But there's lots of that news. My God,
there really is. There really fucking is.
I get it. It's trying to build a hype train for the movie. I don't feel that hype. I feel cautious and cynical. Maybe I'll be surprised. Anyway, Mikey, let's talk about Transformers. If I can find a thing.
Yay!
That's the thing. All right, we're gonna start off the week with talking about the DK42 Legacy Animated Prowl Samurai Armor Upgrade Kit from DNA Designs, a figure that you have, young Mikey. So this could upgrade your Prowl from normal Ninja Prowl to the Samurai mode from Season 3 before he dies. Yeah. Spoilers. And he also comes with the seismic staff as well, which I don't remember offhand. So the question is, Mikey...
I think I do remember that is in a scene, yeah.
I'm sure it is. I just don't remember it. What do you think of this upgrade kit, Mikey? And would it be something that tempts you? Because you had fairly good opinions of this Prowl from Legacy, right?
Weren't perfect, but weren't terrible.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No? Why not? Why does this not tempt you?
It looks like I like it when it's a sidecar, and I like it when it's like that classic samurai armor display piece. But when it goes on, it's way too bulky.
Right.
The gold also doesn't match the chest, which I think is a big problem. But the shoulder armor is way too big. The skirt armor gets kind of lost in it all, and I really don't like the helmet. The helmet looks completely wrong for the shape of his face.
Looks like a bin. It's like the Megatron bucket head.
But it's huge. It's like I see what they were going for, but like proportionally the original armor worked much better on the figure it was on. It feels like someone tried to do the same relative proportions without considering the actual stature of the figure, and I don't think it's turned out great.
Do you think this set would be better if instead of making it a transforming thing, they just gave you the parts to replace on the figure? So you'd have dedicated shoulder parts, you'd have a dedicated sidecar that rolled on wheels, and dedicated weapons, and maybe a separate head that had the samurai shape design. So you just pop off the head and you'd replace it, kind of thing. Do you think that would work better?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Do you think that would be more something that you would go for? Because obviously that asks for a... it doesn't have the play feature. It's more just like swapping parts around, which is a bit more faffy. But would that you be okay with that? Because that would put off some people, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't mind.
You don't mind
at all? Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair. No, I would agree. I think the proportions on it are weird. The head's really, really egregious, or the helmet for the head is really egregious. The problem with the original animated one was it squished down his already quite small face into like even smaller. But it didn't make the overall head too big, and it felt still on point. This feels like an attempt, maybe not the best attempt in the world, but then again, I'm not a big fan of the overall design of this figure, and you kind of stated when you got it that it's just the original Prowl figure, but not quite as good in some ways. So it's like,
yeah, basically,
yeah. This feels like an extra, well, I don't know, $40-50 a pound probably to then make a figure still not quite as good in my eyes.
Yes.
But there you go. It's an option if you want your legacy version of Samurai Prowl. This will be how you get him, I guess, because Hasbro definitely ain't gonna do this. I don't want to guarantee, but because they could. Yeah, I'd be very surprised. But yeah, it's on the table if you want it. Mikey, who next?
Who next? Kang Toy next. So Kang Toys, they're different ones. He did the very Zoidsy Predaking that I loved. Have revealed the first prototype images for CT Longyang 01. Longyang is a combiner as far as I know. Long is dragon. I don't know what Yan is. So
I don't know either. I don't know if you'll win for me to answer because I don't know.
I don't know. You're a nerd. But Stegus Row, which is their version of Snarl. So this goes from again, fairly Zoidy, but much more looking like an actual Stegosaurus than your average Snarl, to a very, very anime robot.
Would you say aspects of some Gundams are in here? Mainly because of the bits around the head, almost the collar?
It's got that vibe. It's definitely got that vibe. So Stegosaurus mode looks fairly posable. It's got side-to-side head and tail movement, and the tail moves up and down. The tail's in the actual position that the animal would have it in. It's got clear plastic plates and thagamizers. That one's for Vangelis. It's got a nice long head. It's got a big cannon on its back. I really, 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 really like the Stegosaurus mode. The robot mode, the tail kind of swings up in that kind of classic fire ring you sometimes see in some, I think, Indian mythologies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that also means like the thagamizers are pointing straight up like some sort of weird antlers. But then he has the gun, which also converts into a big sword. He has a big sword. Actually, it seems like it's a little bit modular because you got like a built-up version of the sword, and then you've got like a much pared-down version.
It's Cloud Sword from Advent Children.
I was just thinking that. But you can then combine parts of this anyway with the tail, and you can make different types of weapons. So the tail can be used as like a whip weapon, or it can be modified into like a double-bladed like arrow / bow / slashing thing, and it can also be like two individual swords. So this guy's got a lot of play value.
Yeah,
I think he looks really, really solid. Every single thing I heard about the Predaking stuff was like ravingly positive. So I don't know how much these cost, but I honestly am tempted to just keep an eye on the pre-orders for this guy, and I rarely am for this level of a third party, but he looks really good. Like, if he's not an insane price, like it's not 200, it is definitely tempting.
I think there's almost a detriment to these having to be the Dinobots and having to be in the Dinobot colors, because I think this would be almost more interesting if it was new characters, or like if you wanted to go like these have to be Dinobots, Andy. I go, okay, why can't we make this the interesting visual different design for the Shattered Glass Dinobots?
Oh yeah. Or what about the movie Dinobots, like Green Snarl?
Yeah, that could be fun. I mean, he had the big tails, but obviously his tail didn't kind of curve up like that. But he had translucent kind of yellowy parts on him. Didn't he?
He did actually. He did.
So yeah, that could work.
Yeah, but yeah, it is kind of like, this is a really cool design that's like, it's going to be lost in a sea of grey and yellow, which is going to be a bit of a shame. But this is definitely a design that really kind of says to me like dynamic colors.
Mm.
But it is one of those things like I wouldn't hold out for repaint.
No. Do we know how much repaints they've done to the Predaking? Have they done any?
I think there's a gold one.
Oh, okay.
There's a gold one, and I think there might be a black one, but I don't know about that because one of the third-party groups was going to do a Gaugagar.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Well, I get repainted into Gaugagar colors, but I don't think anyone's ever gone ahead with it.
Oh, fair enough. I think it's interesting as well that this is probably the most accurate Snarl we've had, right?
Oh yeah, by
He's got the
country
little
margin.
beak. He's got the little beak face, which you never see. They always give him the stereotypical, like G1 style dinosaur head. So it's even non super dino nerd Andy kind of looks at that and goes, "Oh, well, that's kind of fun. Yeah, it's a bit different."
And I'm gonna say like I don't need super accurate. I need something that is not the bloody G1 thing. And this is not a potato, as everyone says. It's not a potato.
No, definitely. You know what? Would Glacier Lord's colors work on these guys? You think?
That would be nice.
The nice kind of maroony red, the weird kind of creamy pinks. Yeah, that could be quite fun.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it won't happen because no one bought enough Glacial Lords, but you know. Shame on you. The internet failed us, Mikey, I would say.
Yes, they really fucking did. Like you were handed gold. And you said, yeah, but look at this bronze.
Just bought you one, please. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. God damn it.
You failed us. You have failed this city.
Oh, here's a question. Do you think they'll do a mini version of this? Because they did do a mini version of their Predaking, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, at least they're doing it. They're doing it. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Do you think they'll do it with this, or do you think it'll depend on how well the Predaking does, and subsequently this does as well? I guess.
I think the Predaking will be the deciding thing for that.
Be interesting to see if like, imagine the smaller ones do better, and they stop making these bigger ones, and they just go primarily for the smaller size. That could be quite interesting in itself as well. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
I think the business, the difference in sales would have to be so great that would have to change the course of the company. It'd be interesting if it happened.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
we will not.
Yeah. Shall we move on, Mikey?
Let us move on, Andy.
All right, trains, choo choo, woo woo. We got some images or new stock images of Karen, not Karen. But that would also be funny if this was a Karen train bot. One of the train bots. It's MPG-06 Karen. It's another one of those train bots. It's the groin. No, upper torso.
It's the upper torso, I believe. Yeah, it's the upper torso because the armor from the first guy goes over him.
Okay, there we go. It's the upper torso to the train bots. He seems to be a short, fat, little stumpy boy.
Or is he? Let me see.
You're
right. It is the tanks.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure. He's an old style train as well. I don't know what kind.
Old.
Yeah. Good enough. He also comes with a massive lightsaber. He's overcompensating for something. That's for sure. We also see a image of them all combined as well. We also got a message on Patreon, Mikey. Which is why I wanted to take this story from Andreas. I'll read it now because it ties into this line. So he goes, "Hi Andy, since the MPG KN will inevitably be coming up this week in this week's news, and you asked if any of your listeners has any experience with the MPG train bots, I thought I'd provide some in-hand experience. I added the experience on them as the proud, in quotations, owner. I didn't add that. That's actually in quotations. Proud owner of the first 3 releases. I can't hate them then. Is my hot take on the MPG line so far. So here we go. This is what we asked for. Thank you for responding to this, by the way. Thanks for responding to us, asking the viewers for something. So here we go. With the designs, Takara had one goal only: make the trains as realistic as possible. That sounds like Japan. Thus, the best way to interact with them is having them as a static display piece. You can't play with them in alt mode, in like going around a train track, because the boogies, I think that was meant to be bodies, are static, so they can't go around curves. Oh, the wheels can't move. Okay, and because dash in pursuit of maximum accuracy dash the car designers designed them with different gauge sizes. So they need different train tracks. Oh my god!
Wait, hang on! Whoa! So because it and I'm not a train person. The gauge size, the gauges are the inverted commas wheels. Yeah.
I imagine so. Yeah.
So that because they wanted accuracy to the trains, they're only able to go on the one piece of track, which is the track they come with. Which means that if you want to have just a display scene or have a bit of fun, which is make a long piece of track and move your trains along, even if you have them all linked up on their piece of track, they can never move.
It sounds like it.
Because some of them will hit a point where their gauges are too big for the track in front of them.
Or too small?
Well, at least you'd move with too small.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
I know the Japanese and trains as a whole.
I was going to say, this is the Japanese. I could imagine, like, Transformer collectors would get it, like, in Japan, and maybe they would be, like, train-obsessed people as well, who get these figures and goes, this isn't accurate. This train wouldn't be able to drive on these tracks. That's ridiculous.
This train fails me and my donkey.
Oh my god! Why donkey?
You've shamed me and you've shamed your cow. No, dishonor upon you, dishonor upon your cow. That's the one I was trying to remember.
What was that from?
I remember Bay said it once.
I've got this quote from a thing. What's the thing? I don't know. It's something about donkey, cow. I don't know, some shit.
I don't know. Animals. You've brought shame upon your family.
There you go.
The cow.
We've done it.
Our donkey.
It goes on, which is accurate.
I've been sucking a lot of fumes today, so.
Which is different from normal. How?
These are not the fumes you should be sucking.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not true. Oh, you get on my ass for smelling plastic. You're smelling paint today. Yeah.
I'm doing it out of necessity. You're doing it for fun.
I'm doing it out of necessity because if I don't, I get the shakes.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It goes on, which is accurate since Shinkansen trains in Japan have wider train tracks. Well, there you go. All of the three releases have some sort of flaw. Shoki's train shell are mostly clear plastic. Yeah, we remember seeing the images.
We've seen. Yeah.
Getsui has a rotating hinge that can break during transformation. Oh, if you're not very careful. And Yukikaze seems to have a self-destructing knee joint. Oh my god!
Why Disney? Why? Sorry, I was thinking about the Disney write-offs for a second earlier on today, and it was been in my head. But why on earth do they keep doing this?
It keeps happening with Takara, with their figures just dying.
Why does Takara go like, "Hi, here's a figure. Here is a $600+ figure because that is what you are paying for when you buy this combiner, and we're gonna make its knees explode."
It must be like manufacturing errors, or just it becomes too complex for its own good, like MP3 Megatron.
Oh god,
he had that with you. Never forget, Simon broke his Megatron at a 1-hinge waist. During the video.
It wasn't so much broke, he just sort of moved it and then it went.
It was a funny video, though.
It split down the middle. It was very funny.
It was a sad time. Speaking of shells, they are all made. Speaking of shells, they all are made out of shell pieces rather than part of the robot. Are made out of solid blocks of the alt mode that makes super fiddly to transform and play with.
So basically, you've got a train surrounding a robot, and a robot is curled up.
Yeah, I mean,
that sounds like to me.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it's meant to be. Yeah. And I'm not surprised. I think again from the images that we've seen of these guys, that kind of looks like that's what it is for the most part. Man, I didn't think there was some that had knee destroyers, or one that had a hinge that could just kill the toy if it broke. If you weren't very careful, it's like, oh boy. They look okay, though.
They look fine in their individual robot modes. The
I think
individual robots are fine.
I think we agreed though that how was it? Were they called? Was it the company just called Moon, or was it Moon something?
Oh, yeah. The ones who did the riding, the combining riding.
Yeah, I think we agreed even when we saw those ones that those ones seemed better than the Takara ones.
Yeah, I think I like the aesthetic of this guy, but I think that the Moon ones just did it way better.
I mean, what do you think of Raiden now that we see him all combined and stuck together?
He does not look like a $700 toy.
He looks oddly enough, he looks like something like. No offense to the people that made it, but if you told me that this was a new like legacy version of the figure, and this was a Commander class figure and 4 deluxes, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. But that's not what this is, like you said.
No, and it's like apparently this is going to be Combiner Wars size, which like size doesn't bother me as long as the figure is like worth its money.
Yeah.
But it's concerning how it looks.
Yeah. He looks fat in some ways.
And the lack of hard lines in the robot mode, like the fact the chest, I think is kind of bad because it's like you've got round front of the train, suck in, round front of the train, suck in, round front of the train.
Yeah.
Like so that has an effect in your eyes. The shoulders look way too big and the forearms look way too big relative. And if you actually see how you can see the train kibble is making up so much of the arm, and it looks like I would be very, very nervous about bending that elbow joint if it went beyond what it is here.
Yeah, in case you cracked some of the shell, right?
Yeah, because look at the way the shell goes over the arm.
Oh, I see it. It looks like they've got a joint in there to kind of help with that, but.
Yeah, and then the legs are probably the best bits. I mean, the legs have like stupid kibble, but that stupid kibble's toy accurate. So, but that upper body is concerning. Like it feels like that chest should be shrunk down. The forearms definitely need to be smaller, and there needs to be more folding going on to free up that elbow joint.
It's not what I was hoping for from an official Takara release, because this feels like this is their big one at the moment.
Very much so. Very much so.
I don't know. I don't think it's good, personally.
It isn't making me say, wow, I can't wait for you. It's not even like, oh, I don't care about it, but I can't wait for you to do the next one. It's definitely not communicating that to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of saying like, cool, no. Not really looking forward to what your next idea for this masterpiece Gatai line is.
It's hard as well because you could start off with imagine they started off with a really good solid figure and then they got progressively worse as they went along. That wasn't the case here. It sounds like they're all kind of flawed in kind of very similar ways, I suppose. But because we didn't get to see what this looked like, all done up, colored and everything, it almost feels not like a scan. That wouldn't be quite fair, but I don't think I'd feel good about it if we got to this stage and we saw it like this, and I'd be like, oh, I feel like I'd waste my money for me at least. For me,
yeah.
You know. But there we go. Thank you again, Andres, for sending us the message over Patreon. Much appreciated. I hope they get better. I hope you find enjoyment in the Trainbots if you continue along with them. Same with anybody else on the Trainbot line. Choo-choo. But Mikey takes on to Furai.
Yeah.
Flames.
Furai Flame Toys Model Kits. So we have a new image of, this is the first color images of G1 Hound. So we've seen some prototype images that did not communicate a lot because this guy's got very different proportions than I was expecting.
Is this a different design?
It feels like it might be, but I feel like the gray prototype almost like caused you to like miss out on a lot of the colors.
Oh, maybe.
The head is definitely not what I was expecting because he's got a like sight. He's got a red sight.
Yeah, it's almost like Demolishers from Armada or like IDW Sniper Preceptor.
There's a Demolisher. There's a custom idea.
Yeah.
But he looks good. He looks way better than I thought he would. I'm terrified of that yellow.
Why are you terrified of it?
Because it's going to be stickers, which means I'm going to have to paint it, and it's painting yellow on green.
Yeah, like the big ones on his forearms. No, the yellow going the little lines for those will be the sticker will be as well for the star.
But the star I don't mind so
the big
much.
Chunk,
but...
I think the big chunk should be yellow plastic. If it's not, man, that will be. Not only will that be like hard to paint because it's yellow, but it will be an ugly sticker.
Yeah.
Because it's huge.
Again, it's like, oh, cool, custom. Like to demolish her out of him, like. But I think he looks really good. He looks way better than I was expecting him to.
They made Hound kind of interesting.
Andy, no one can do that. They just did that.
No. They made him into the bottom right image, the bottom right bit of him in the image.
Yeah.
There, to me, he looks almost like an armored core in some ways. And I don't know whether it's the green or if it's the big things just stuck to his shoulders, but gives me armored core vibes.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's a lot better than I thought it would be. A lot better. It's not to the point where I'd want to buy one, but I look at it and go,
I'm literally looking up Armada Demolisher now and seeing like how the color breakdown works, and actually he would flow really well into this toy, even if like you could do the original or even the Super Demolisher, like both of them would translate very, very well into this figure.
I think he's got this model has almost the right silhouette for it, almost.
Ooh, you could do the Energon one. Yeah. Well, for that like 5 minutes he was interesting before they murdered him and wiped his brain.
Fuck that shit.
Remember that? Remember when they murdered him and wiped his brain?
I do. And they made him into a worse figure.
And a gorilla.
Yep.
Because he used to be his chest, remember?
I do remember that.
Everyone remember that? Everyone remember when they gave Demolisher an arc and then after 10 episodes murdered him and replaced his brain?
Cyclonus got better, like toy-wise at least.
Yeah. They also murdered him and replaced his brain.
They did. It was a
and
reset.
Scorponok. And Starscream.
Yeah. Starscream like twice, right? No, once. It was just the worst one.
Oh yeah, Starscream's the most egregious one. Because...
Yeah. Oh, Energon. Jesus.
Yeah. Yep.
It was long as well. It was 52 episodes.
Yeah. With some of the worst animation.
With Japanese pacing of the era. Oh boy.
Oh. Dark times.
Yeah, indeed. But Hound looks solid. Looks good. Looks like he comes with a decent chunk of accessories with a Gatling gun, a big knife, a missile pod shoulder, his normal shoulder thing. What else does he have? Does he have another thing that I missed off? Oh, like a hand grenade, like a World War II German hand grenade. Or a big bottle of wine. I don't know which it is.
The question is, will he come with a pointy finger? Because they keep doing them.
Do they usually come with pointy fingers?
Yep. Oh. Because they reuse Optimus's hands.
Oh, are these the same hands then if you're looking at them?
They look similar enough that I would be suspicious.
Okay, all right. Do you think you'll get repainted? Because sometimes the Flame Toys do get repainted, don't they? Sometimes they don't. Do you think
maybe
this
detritus or something like that?
I mean, if they're going to do anyone, that's who you do.
Yeah, like what's Diaclone Hound?
Is there one?
There must be.
Isn't that just like green still, just like with the stars in different places?
Yeah, it's a darker green with more stars.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No way. That's not worth it. Do you think this Edge is design-wise more into the Devastator territory than the other designs? So do you think this will fit with the rest of them?
I think it's more in line with the Bumblebee than Devastator.
Okay. All right.
It's got similar proportions, but the Devastator's thing is that it's Akira Memiya just kind of went nuts, and like it was the proportions that kind of killed that, not necessarily the aesthetic.
Okay. Okay.
So I still want that because I have an idea. I've had an idea for custom for. I finalized what custom I want to do out of it.
What do you want to do?
They're six builder, Japanese six builder, which means a lot of blue and stuff like that.
Yeah, blue, red, orange, green-ish.
Yeah, like
yellow?
the only actually he's got quite a lot of black. But only problem really is that he's got a molded Decepticon symbol, but I'll be a loser and paint it red and just say, look, shattered glass.
No, you could get like a knife and a file and get rid of that easily enough and then just get a sticker. It's not too hard. Just make sure you have like a nice file with a nice grain on it, like 2 or 3 different kinds of grain to smooth it out. But yeah, you'll be fine. Just snip it away. You'll be good. Shall we move on, Mikey, to reveals things?
Let's move on.
Now, right, this was a weird fucking thing. A Japanese crowd fundraising campaign has been revealed. This is the Luna Cruiser Prime. This is fucking weird. So let me read to you.
It's definitely fucking weird.
Yeah, Takara Tomy will be producing a transformable version of the concept, so not a real thing, Toyota/JAXA Luna Cruiser, so the thing that we'd put on the moon or into space. This is a planned pressurized vehicle designed to carry humans on the moon. The toy version is a Luna Cruiser Optimus Prime, or Luna Cruiser Prime, and it's pretty much what you think it is. All right. Great article.
It's an Optimus Prime from space. We've never had that before.
Vehicle mode, pretty spot on. This is just them waffling on. Okay, I'll read the description. So what do you get with it? You get the display stand. Display stand set 1, Luna Cruiser Optimus Prime body. The solar panel parts, the antenna parts, the limited display stand. I'm not going to read you the things. And the instructions. Precautions when returning. I'm not going to talk about that either. The product content is the same as the general release product to be released on March 2024. Limited versions of this stand. They don't give a huge amount on the crowdfunding aspect of it, as far as I can see.
Yeah.
This way you can do it.
Yeah, they've definitely, not had information it will be crowdfunded. Look forward to keep an eye on Campfire.
Yeah. The speculation is it's going to be MP size because every fucking thing is. But Mikey, what do you think of this weird little thing coming from Japan? Japan doing just out of the blue. Here's a weird thing that we're making.
Yeah, it is. It is a Japan weird thing. I love it. I will never own one, but I love it. I absolutely adore it. It's bizarre. The looter thing looks dumb. The Optimus looks decent. I love it. I would love one. I can't have one. This week is the week of. I just saw this and I was just like, what the fuck? Oh no, I want it. Oh no, I'll never have it. Oh god. Life is pain.
I wish it wasn't Prime, obviously, because I think the robot mode almost suffers a little bit from having to be we got to make it look like G1 Optimus Prime, so it's got to have the blue legs and the red bits here and there. But the idea behind it it's pretty neat. The execution looks, again, pretty neat. I like the fact that he has little solar panels as well. That's fun.
Well, when you compare this to some of the other random Japanese collaborations we've had, and the stupid alt modes, the PlayStation 1 or the Soundwave that's a tablet one, and it just they have novelty. This looks like a fun figure.
Yeah, definitely.
I will never own it because how much is it on the website? Let's see. It's Kickstarted on the website. They're looking for 1 million yen. They haven't started the Kickstarter yet, but they don't have prices or anything up, I think. But tiers are you've got an 11,000 yen tier, a 14,300 yen tier. The lowest, so we're going to assume the lowest one you're going to get the figure is 11,000 yen.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. That would make sense.
And in dollars, that is
100?
80.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's way better than I thought. But then, if I want to get it, import charges.
Yes,
postage charges, secondary market charges, because the chance of getting it up without the secondary market is shockingly bad, or middleman charges. So if I got it for less than 150, I would be fucking shocked, and it ain't that. I wouldn't pay that.
Yeah, I was gonna say being in the West, I don't think we can crowdfund it. I'd be surprised.
No,
I'd be very
would be
surprised.
nice. It would be nice. It comes with a stand, and it's just the vehicle mode is something I actually think is cool in the real world, because it's a lunar rover that people can actually live in instead of just go down and go boop boop boop. That's the sound astronauts make.
In space, they don't make sound though.
Andy, you're learning.
No, it's not as cool though. But
no,
it's not as dramatic for TV shows.
True.
I always hate it when people are like that. It's oh, why do Spaceballs have sound effects? Because it would be fucking boring if they didn't. Don't be dumb.
Are we taking Spaceball seriously here?
Exactly. Come on now. Come on. No, I really like the vehicle mode. I think it's good. Like, you make the great point. Do you remember the shitty cap? The Optimus Prime that was a cap? That was a really bad
Or the one that was a shoe.
Yeah, that one had a little bit of style to it, but again, not good. This looks, like you said, like a decent figure. I'd be interested to see what people say about it when they eventually get it. It's interesting. But it's not the thing that I think was the most interesting. I'll do the second one, because this was also a reveal. It was also a crossover. This was the Transformers X Jurassic Park second set. We haven't really had a second time collaboration. You know, with Ghostbusters, we just got the one figure. Back to the Future, we got the one figure. Monsters, we got Dracula once. We're going back to Jurassic Park, and we're going for... what are they called? They are called the Decepticon Dilophoconn versus Autobot JP12.
The Autobot bit raised so many questions when you realize who it is.
Yeah. They should have just made him like Swindle, right?
Yeah. But yeah, didn't see this coming.
So you're fucked again.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna wait to see, one, if Smiths get this, and two, how long it takes for it to drop down.
They have to get it.
Because like you know, I was in Forbidden Planet recently, and the original like Forbidden Planet has the original for 50.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Which is, you know, I've got the original. I got it like as soon as I could, but this one I'll keep an eye out. But yeah, 2 new molds.
Yes. Yeah.
One suspiciously familiar in terms of character, because it looks a hell of a lot like the robot mode for the Dilophoconn looks very, very similar to the robot mode for Beast Wars Iguanas, who turned into the frilled lizard.
Yeah.
So wouldn't be shocked if we had like a legacy Velocitron or whatever came up, frilled lizard, and then like a J. I thought he was a Hound retool at first, but no, he looks like brand new. Dennis Nedry Jeep.
As you do.
Dennis Nedry in the JP12, which again is the Jurassic Park. He was driving number 12 when he fell down a cliff and got eaten. With the Barbasol can that you can open up, and it has the holder with the DNA inside, which I don't think they show in these pictures, but I have seen in other pictures.
Yeah, okay.
And the Dilophoconn comes with an effect part.
Well, it's fine. The effect part's okay. It's more. It doesn't look like a great spit effect, but it's good enough. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's funny to me because we see the Dino mode and the vehicle mode together, and like he's huge, and like the Dino's so much bigger than the vehicle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like how both these look. JP12 looks better than JP93 as a figure. Also, it's Nedry, and I find that hilarious. You can take his hat off. And I think the Dilophosaurus mode actually looks really solid, and I think the robot mode looks solid. They're not cheap. It's about 75. So
yeah, 75 for the set, which is
you're looking
for
similar,
deluxes.
You know, deluxes markup. So your deluxes, you're looking at what, 50 to 60, and then your markup on top of that for the collaboration. It's understandable, but yeah, I would still be keeping an eye out for a sale on these.
It'd be nice if it was cheaper, that's for sure.
Yeah. I do like them. I do like them. I don't know. Like I would definitely be keeping. The colors are wrong on the Dilophosaurus, but hey-o. Nerd. But no, I do dig him. I do genuinely dig him. I think they both turned out really well. I've got such a strong affection for the original set. It is flawed. Rexy is very good. JP93 is flawed but functional. I'm as long as they're both like decent, they'll at least be worth it in my mind. So I will definitely be keeping an eye out for these at a good price.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry, I took over that one. Oh God.
I mean, you were gonna. It's a Jurassic Park thing. Of course you were.
There, did it? No, we're fine. Sorry, drop something. Panic.
If you chipped it, you just paint back over it again. It's fine.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, you do.
I've only got a spray can in this color.
Oh my God.
There we go. Okay, like it came apart a little bit, but it's a model kit. It don't give a shit. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the set is pretty solid. I'm not a big fan of the Dennis Nedry head, but I wasn't a big... I like this head a lot more than I did the previous one.
I thought you were about to say I don't like Wayne Knight's head anyway.
No, I've got no issue with Wayne Knight's facial structure. It's functional. It works.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't mind Wayne Knight. He's functional.
Yeah. He's able to put food inside of his orifice and, turn it into mush and swallow it. That's fine.
Okay.
Not my preferred kind of head, though.
I apologize, Wayne Knight, for the clear rudeness Andy has been putting towards you. You do not deserve that. You are a fine and decent man.
Sign up to the Patreon and change my mind.
Wayne Knight, please sign up to our Patreon.
Yeah, come on. But yeah, no, I think it's interesting. The vibe I get from the Wayne Knight figure is more like a Dozer from Fraggle Rock for some reason. Probably because of the little hard hat. I really like his accessory of the gene container, the shaving foam. I much prefer the Dilophosaurus. I don't think it's perfect. I think having the thighs for the robot mode, for the dinosaur mode, shift down over the calves or the shins doesn't look amazing. It looks a bit strange, but it's not terrible. He's also got a lot of tail hanging down where his balls would be. It'd be nice if it could like move up his back a bit more because it just hangs there awkwardly a little bit. But I like the head design. I like the fact that the frills kind of go up behind his head as well as the little dinosaur arms to kind of frame around him quite nicely. I think that's quite fun design aspect to the figure. Like I said, I don't think the spit has much going for it as an effect part. And I will say again that the dinosaur mode looks a little bit awkward. It's okay. It's just when you look at the legs and directly from the front, it's not. I don't think that the dinosaur mode has a lot of good angles where you can take a photo from it and you're like, oh, that's a really solid looking dinosaur mode. Unlike the T-Rex and unlike Dinobot for the most part, they looked good from at least certain angles most of the time. I don't think this has an angle where I look at it and go, oh, that looks good. That looks really solid. It's always a bit like there's something a little bit off with it. But I think the Jeep Wrangler or whatever the Jeep is, that they've recreated that fantastically well. Obviously, a lot easier to do. I like all the fancy artistic photos they've taken as well for the promotional stuff. They're really cool. They're really well done. Props to the person who took these photos. He did a good job. Yeah, I like this is an interesting set. I think for me, it's a better set than the previous one. Not to the point where I'd want to buy it myself still, but I appreciate it. I think it's a lot better. Definitely an improvement. Mikey, what's next? I gave you the last two, I think.
Monkey's paw. Monkey's paw. Monkey's paw.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You said that 3 times. What do you mean monkey's paw?
I was stalling while I opened the page.
Oh.
So we have our first in-hand reveals of Legacy Evolution Deluxe, listed as Cyberverse. I'm going to go into that in a second. Shadow Striker. When we were told, we were told in the thing it was going to be Cyberverse Shadow Striker specifically.
They lied.
So first of all, this is IDW2 Shadow Striker.
Yeah.
Not just in the G1ification, but the colors and everything else are lifted directly from the IDW comic. The vehicle mode has a front that is a bit Cyberverse, but also is very much IDW. So this is an IDW. It will say Cyberverse on the box, I presume, but it is not Cyberverse. It is IDW.
Yeah.
So first Monkey Paw, we got a Shadow Striker.
Oh, that's good.
It is not Cyberverse.
That's bad.
Okay, so it's a brand new mold.
Oh, that's good.
That new mold is Cyburn.
That's bad. That's bad. I mean, it's not bad, but it's bad that it's not her own mold.
It is aggressively not her mold.
Yeah.
Like everything is. It is basically they have a Cyburn an already Cyburn that they just put a new head on.
Yeah. I don't think there'll be any difference other than that.
Like apart from the shell kibble for the vehicle mode. I'm sure that I think the front bonnet's going to be different on the car.
Yeah, that would make sense. Maybe the shield will be different as well.
But they literally just plonked her head onto a Sideburn. I'm glad Sideburn is getting a toy, and there's lots of things you can repaint Sideburn into. Like there's Red Sideburn, and then there's Roulette and the original Shadow Striker, and there's other ones as well. And like, cool, but this is why it's a monkey paw. I've gotten what I asked for, but not what I wanted. Which I'm having not flashbacks to Knockout. This isn't as aggressively as Knockout did.
Thankfully.
At least the face is right.
Yeah.
Well, the face is more right. But I don't know. Why couldn't at least have the asymmetrical paint job?
No. Was it like that in IDW?
No.
Well, that's why.
No, she wasn't. I like the red Sideburn chest does not work with this color scheme. It looks like someone ripped out her guts. It doesn't look like a bad figure. I mean, it has aesthetic problems, but those aesthetic problems come to the fact it's Sideburn, and Sideburn is a weird-looking robot.
Yeah, it's a weird transformer. All of those Autobots that got unique molds around that era had really weird transformations.
Yeah, so it's unfortunately, I'm kind of like, I'm sure it will look good as the molesty robot that was RID Sideburn.
Oh my god.
I just want to say Sideswipe, but it was Sideburn. But yeah, I'm not loving it. I'd rather have her than Sideburn, I suppose.
Okay.
Like, also, like, her Sideburn's shoulders are a little different as well, like, in terms of the shoulder kibble, and I'm assuming it's going to look like that. They're going to remold those parts for his version.
But then if they made unique parts for her, why didn't they make them more Cyberversey and, like, strange? Like, she's mismatched like she's meant to be.
Because they don't like me, Andy.
No.
They don't like me.
I mean, I empathize with them, but they need to think about not just hurting you. They need to think about other people.
Yeah. Like I said, Roulette will look cool because it's a cool color scheme. Shadow Striker will look cool because it's a cool color.
Do you think they'll give them unique heads, or do you think one of those two will have just her head?
I could see Shadow Striker being a straight repaint.
Same. I was thinking that.
I think they'll give Roulette a different head because Roulette's an Autobot.
Okay.
But I think Shadow Striker will, like RID Universe, Shadow Striker will have the same head but repainted. Yeah, like it's a little disappointing. But yeah, it is what it is.
What do you think of the back cape that she seems to have?
Not amazing. The back cape is not amazing. But yeah, I'm just looking at like the vehicle mode has the elements to make it. Like the vehicle mode is actually like G1 wise about right.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
But yeah, all you had to do was just repaint the limbs and give us that asymmetrical look. Like you didn't have to remold anything. You just had to repaint the limbs.
I guess that still costs money though, doesn't it? Because that's
yep.
Because there's not it doesn't look like there's a huge amount of paint. There's bits, but not like drastic amounts.
Yeah, unfortunately not. But
yeah, no, I wasn't too thrilled when I saw this. When I saw it myself, I went, oh, Sideburn. Okay, that's not going to make Mikey happy. And then I looked more at it and went, this doesn't look quite right. What were they going for? And then obviously I sent you the message and you told me that they were doing IDW. This is how she looks in the comic, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go again.
Yep. Well, what can you do?
Complain. On the podcast, that's what we do.
Because you literally can't stop us, world.
No,
But going on from that, we've got listings for Legacy Uni, which I'm assuming is the Legacy Universe, which is our third Legacy line. And I will say, like, I have enjoyed Legacy a lot more than I did War for Cybertron as a toy line. Yeah. I actually want to buy figures from this line. Was looking at Metal Hawk yesterday. I was like, come down €5 more. They're already on sale, but just come down that extra 5 and I will buy you. So We have listings for some figures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of which I actually think are going to be kind of interesting. One is a Universe Deluxe G1 Optimus Prime.
Oh.
Deluxe class G1 Optimus. Some people are saying, "Oh, what's the new design going to be?" I'm just like, "Well, G1 and Deluxe go."
Oh, is it the Commander class but without the trailer? Ba 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 ba.
Voyager Cyber Vector Prime.
Oh, that could be interesting, or that could be really disappointing if it's meant to be somebody else.
Here's a question: if it's not meant to be someone else, but it's made in a legacy, which means kind of like, how do we make it as faithful as possible? That alt mode.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't an alt mode even in Galaxy Force. It was just like it's a shape. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I enjoyed it when I had it, but
I still think the figure's fun. It's a fun toy and it's a fun transformation. It just doesn't turn into anything.
Yeah. Armada Galvatron.
I mean, that's obvious. I mean, we knew that was coming. It's still going to be good though, but it's like, yeah, obviously.
Voyager Origin Wheeljack. So people will finally get the toy that has been most requested since ad infinitum. That Wheeljack from that 1 5-second scene.
Hang on, read his name again.
Voyager. Origin. Wheeljack.
Not buzzworthy.
Not buzzworthy.
Huh.
So someone's going to be mad because their boxes are going to be different.
So why?
Someone's going to be like, I'm an inbox Origin collector, and now I have 3 Origin figures, and one of them is.
So the only figures that Buzzworthy had going for it where they seem to be exclusives were the 2 Origin figures, and now unless something changes and he is shunted into that line, that's gone away or going away.
Yes.
Interesting.
I saw Archie Jazz in the shop a couple of weeks ago. He looks very good now, honestly.
All right. I'm going to buy him if he gets cheaper?
Not at the price they wanted 40 for him.
40 euros?
40 euros.
What the fuck? Why?
Because they're idiots.
Oh my god, 40 euros.
40 yo-yos. Go, no. Yo-yo, no.
How much is a normal deluxe for you guys?
Between 25 and 30.
Oh my god, so he's nearly double the price.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, okay. Woof. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Who else? Is that all the reveals?
No, because the other 2 are DLX and Core Rocks. Deluxe, Magnius, and Core Boulder Crash. Are we, after many moons and years of searching, getting official Transformers Rock Lords?
Are they going to be G1ified and not look anything like rocks?
Are we going to get Nugget?
And
will they change his? Yeah, and will they be criminals and change his face?
I mean, they own the license, don't they? So it should be okay.
Yep. They should. It should be, and they shouldn't change the face. I like everything else could be like super modern, but I want those eyes.
Why are they doing? I mean, I think it's interesting if they are doing Rock Lords, and they come out to look like the Rock Lords, but. Also, why? I mean, Rock Lords were not successful when they originally came out. They've never been successful.
Andy, they're powerful living rocks.
They are. I don't disagree.
Powerful living rocks don't need no success. They're rocks. I mean, they're patient.
They literally need success because they got one movie. They didn't even get a show. They got a movie, and they were dead. They were done.
Patient.
Do you remember how they got around, Mikey? In that
they rolled, Andy.
Yeah, they rolled. They transformed into rocks. Some of them were flat slabs, and they rolled.
Except for that one, it was like the girl one, which was like she's tall and human looking.
Wasn't she? She was a crystal lord or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Made her fancier than them.
Oh yeah, well, she was a princess or something. So yeah.
No, Nugget was a princess.
You know what they could? Oh no, they couldn't because they wouldn't have the license for it. If they did Rock Lords, what I would do to be fun is I'd call one like Graveheart. Do you remember Graveheart, Mikey?
No, God.
What's Graveheart from?
Oh God, I'm trying to. I remember the name, but like, where's Graveheart? What's that from again? It's an awesome name, but
It's from a company that you should remember. They did CG animation.
They did. Okay, the only thing that's coming up is Fortnite, and now I'm angry.
Fortnite?
Also, not a bad design
For what?
for the Fortnite character. Like, I would buy a toy of this character if they had decent fiction.
Oh, you mean Optimus Prime?
No, never. But like, this is a cool design. Give me fiction that is manageable. I would buy a figure of this design. She looks fun. So, which Graveheart are we thinking of?
Thinking of the one from Shadow Raiders.
Oh God,
War Planet Shadow Raiders from Mainframe.
God Almighty, that's going back a few years.
Because he came from the planet of Rock.
He did.
That makes sense. Also, a great show. You should watch War Planet Shadow Raiders or Shadow Raiders War Planets, whatever way they said it.
Mainframe, yo.
Yeah, before Mainframe just stopped making shows and started just making weird like one-off movie Barbie things and other really disappointing media.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because they used to be really good.
Yeah. I still blame Dime.
Yeah. Is that all of them, Mikey? Is it
that is all of them for the moment.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, Mikey, I guess that's the news done. What you been up to this week? What you done for fun, buddy? Huh?
That is a nose. So I have been building a kit today. So I got a week ago. I got the Planosaurus, T-Rex, and Triceratops, and I decided I was at home. I'm at home, and I decided, oh, I have space and outdoors and like a shed I can use that when I'm here. So before I came down, bought a bunch of paint. So I put the kit together first of all. It comes in a skeleton, and then you put some skin on top of it, and then you can put on some feathers as well as a swappable piece. The feathers didn't come together very well. It didn't feel like they were made right.
Okay.
They didn't clip together properly. But the base skeleton is super posable. Like, the only thing it's really missing is any bending in the feet, but it's got posable tail, posable arms, bit of bend in the middle, head, neck, like really, really posable. It has a little stand as well, a base it stands on, and it's a very simple but very strong connector. You put on the skin, it loses basically all posability in its legs because they're basically in one position.
Okay.
But everything else is still there, and it's like, looks good. Has a lot of stickers. A lot of stickers.
Do you have a picture of this sticker sheet? Because I'm looking through your photos at the moment and don't see the.
No, I'll throw one up. I'll throw one up with the next batch of photos.
All right.
So, because there are eye stickers, and like, these eyes are tiny.
Ew. I guess it'd have to be.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like,
I'm looking at the image of, you've tried to do the whole pinning in separate part stuff, and there's just a kind of deluxe next to it, and what looks like a a hose. So I like to imagine you haven't been using a spray can, you've just been hosing it down with deluxe.
But yeah, so I've been painting it. So I have gone with, it's nearly done. I need to bring in a couple of pieces that are drying outside, and I'll do that after the podcast. I've done Fang from Primal. So it took me, I puttied out this, I did like a layer in the dark and then puttied over the bits I wanted to keep as stripes, and then went over with some lighter teal. Painted the inside of them out a couple of different shades. This was the first time I've really done the small detail paintbrush painting. It's mostly worked. In some places the paint was a little bit too thin and it scratched up, but it's a part of the jaw that when you have the jaw open, you're not really going to open it any further because it starts to look a bit bad.
Are you going to throw a wash in the mouth?
I might. I've gone multiple shades of red in the mouth, so like...
The wash will do nice to like highlight stuff and do deep shadows and stuff.
I tried to get a wash when I was getting all the tools this week, and I couldn't get one that way. Like they all had like, they're all military camo. Like the shop I was in, it's military camo kind of thing. A lot of that stuff. Which yeah, I might get something online and just do the
army
washing.
paint is usually pretty cheap. You can get like a skin tone, like a ready kind of skin tone, and you can go like maybe a contrast paint, one of the speed contrast paints, and go with like blood red, and that will do a nice job in there as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's all spray painted. The stripes, I naturally made one mistake with the stripes, but apart from that, they're pretty accurate to the show model. They're not symmetrical, and I wasn't able to get the lines as straight as I liked, but hey ho, reality. it's a bit more realistic looking than Fang in the show, and also the show wasn't consistent with that. Certainly not between the first episode and the second one.
But Mikey, there is a third-party Fang coming.
There is a third. Oh god. So yeah, now there's So anyway, I'm really happy with how this paint job has turned out. The stripes look really, really good. I'm going to have pictures of her up probably tonight once I've painted. I need to paint the claws and I need to paint the eyes. Either I need to paint the eyes or I need to put stickers on, but the stickers are so small, I think I might just like putty round the eyes and then paint in. Like I just need a dab of like an off-white and then, or like a bit of a yellowy white and then like a dab of just like this little thin black line. So it should be doable. But yeah, Arctic Figures, who Andy knows about a bunch of their third-party Jurassic Park figures. So these are like resin kit figures that are action figures. They don't come in the kit; they come like pre-assembled. But and he has apparently contacted Tartakovsky's production company directly and said, "Could I do a third-party figure of your characters?"
Oh, really?
And they're not licensed, but they said, "Yeah, sure, do what you want."
Huh.
So these are going to be like very small run third-party figures that are. So hopefully they won't be stupid expensive because he said he is doing Fang. He's had a test shot up of Fang and it looks really good. Like the worst thing about it is that she's got cuts in her body for posability.
When did you retweet it? I'm trying to find an image of it.
I found it.
I found it. I've got it.
Yeah. Like that, it looks good. And he's going to do Spear. This is not a big figure either. It's smaller than the Beast of the Mesozoic stuff, but it won't like feel as good. It's going to be like, cool, it's posable. Don't go too crazy.
It looks smaller than a Voyager, maybe Transformers wise.
I think it is going to be 8 inches long.
It were.
But there's going to be a Spear, and like. He said he wanted to do a bunch of the other dinos, so he wants to do the red T-Rexes.
Oh.
He wants to do maybe the Triceratops from the Night Feeder episode. He wants to do the Night Feeder, which is the nighttime dino.
Is he going to do the zombie Brachiosaurus?
I was curious about that. I'm also really curious if he'll do the gorilla.
Oh, yeah, that'd be neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if he'll do like Spear, but then do like mutated Spear.
Yeah, thick Spear.
Yeah. Yeah, Hulk Spear. But yeah, or the Raptors, he could do the Raptors, or he's got lots of, or the giant bats, or mammoths. There's a lot he could do. And like scale means so little in Primal, so you don't have to worry about it. But like he's got figures up here, like between the cheapest ones here are 50 and but the articulated dinos, which are larger than Fang, are looking in at around 200. I would be shocked if she's less than 100 painted or unpainted. She might be 150 painted. But I don't think I have an excuse. Like, I think I'm honor bound after all the bitching about wanting some physical representation of what is arguably my favorite TV show ever made.
I would say yes, but it depends on the price. Like if we say this is if this is 500,
yeah. Hey, Patreon supporters, would you like to help me buy a Fang? Knowing that I'll probably marry you afterwards.
It's like you love Jurassic Park, the first movie, right? The Prime One Studios did some really good statues.
Oh yeah,
they are
phenomenal
a good few thousand.
Statues. They are. You could buy several halfway decent cards for the price of one of those statues.
Isn't there like a statue coming out of a 1-to-1 Tyrannosaurus Rex head or something like that?
Specifically, Dominion Rexy.
Yeah.
So it's her front. You get it in like a 138 scale. No, not 138, but a 6 foot tall version.
Oh God.
So it's the Dominion one, so it's the bulkier Jurassic World. So it's not like Jurassic World had the skinny, old. What they did with Jurassic World was she was skinny and emaciated in Jurassic World, and she's been getting progressively bulkier and more like the original Rex design in each movie. So you've got the big bulky Rex with the missing tooth and scars and everything else, and then you have a life-size version. So a 16 foot tall Tyrannosaurus, full frontal. So
how much were they? Because I didn't. I saw the images, but I didn't see pricing.
I saw the images and I didn't look at the pricing. I was just like,
okay.
no, my God, no. So she's very big.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I've really enjoyed it. Also, Planosaurus, really fun, very quick build. You don't really have to clip anything out, but you do have to do a little bit of sanding. I did clip because I'm not a savage, but it's very much like aim at younger people. Like the instruction book is full of actually pretty accurate dinosaur facts. Like T-Rex arms are tiny, but they're very, very strong.
Why?
And so forth. We don't know. Some people think it's for fucking. To be blunt.
Oh, okay. I guess that could make sense. Yeah, that could be.
Or Evangelist once said, picking up rocks and hucking them at people.
Hucking them? Oof. That's
hucking them.
That's some saucy language from Chris. Hucking away.
Indeed. But, so yeah, I got the Triceratops. I don't have a paint scheme in mind for the Triceratops. Like, I could do the primal Triceratops, but you need neon green, basically.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know where to get any. They didn't have any in the shops.
No, they don't. From like a military shop. No, you can go to like mini painting places like Vallejo, and there's some other places as well. But Vallejo's a good game company, so you can you can probably find some without.
We'll see. Listen, if I do, I do. If I don't, like,
you'll find it. Yeah, don't be lame. Do your primal shit.
Don't be lame. Lame.
Do your primal shit. You can do it.
But it's a really good build. I will never take the skin off of this thing because I do not want to be once I'm finished painting everything, it's going to be top coated and it's essentially going to be a statue, which I'm fine with. I've now got a better idea how to use the putty and stuff. When I still want to do the leader Megatron into Fang, but I have a much better idea of how to do the putty and everything else now, and I also would kind of, for that one, I maybe want to see if I could make the toot.
Oh, okay.
Make the big toot. We'll
make
see.
it out of green stuff. That could be easy enough, I suppose.
I'll need research and practice.
Yeah.
So that was that. TV wise, we didn't do King Oger because it hasn't been subject. Boo. Did catch up on Unicorn Warriors Eternal. So a lot of backstory stuff and just kind of a big action episode and then like a lower key, like introduce new character episode.
Are we halfway through it now at this point?
We're on episode 6.
Okay, out of 8, right?
Out of 10.
Out of 10. Okay, so are you getting a good vibe for the show? Because we talked about it originally, and we said it was super heavy narrative-wise. Do you feel it's still going well, or do you think it's like
I'm still enjoying it?
Disappointing.
No, it's still good, but it's not. I would put it sort of like for a Tartakovsky show, middle.
Okay, that's still really good though. So that's
still very like visually stunning. I would like them to do more character work. But I think overall, because like Melinda / Emma gets a lot, but the others don't so far, but she's the focus. I would also say like some of the voice direction could be a little better, but it's also just some of the line delivery just feels a little off. Okay. Like it's especially since it's people faking British accents, so we all know that goes. But I would also say like the animation studio is like this French studio that he found for Primal. They are phenomenal. They are amazing. The animators in this are so fucking good. The visual style is fun. We even get like Fang shows up in one of these episodes, but it's like it's not her, but it's like a T-Rex with all her details, but it's done in the style of this show, so she looks mad, absolutely mad. But the characters are genuinely likable or interesting. Some of them are purposely not likable. But I'd like more going on with the main villain. We know a little bit about their backstory, but I'd like a bit more.
Right.
I think I am definitely going to rewatch it all in one block after it ends, because I think that is how it's meant to be seen. It is one long semi-movie.
Yeah.
Much more so than any of his other work. But it's also a passion project. Like he's wanted to do this one for 20 years. So, and he said like, even if he never did another season set in this world, he'd do it like, oh, here they are in another incarnation or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying it. At the moment, how do you rate it? How do you rate it, Tartakovsky, relative to the real world?
What do you mean relative to the real world? What do you mean?
Well,
by
like, if I was rating it against, Primal, Symbionic, Samurai Jack, Dexter's Lab,
okay. Yeah.
then it's a 7. Maybe a good 6 or 7, but then that's rating it against other Tartakovsky shows.
Mm-mm.
If I'm rating it against like other cartoons, it's probably heading towards an 8 or more.
That's still good. That's still solid.
That's still very solid. Just like I do have a different scale for him.
No, I think that's fine to say. That's okay to say.
And I'm more forgiving as well because I'm just like a big fan of his style. I will watch Hotel Transylvania. It's not a good movie, but it's so well directed in the animation.
Yeah.
The animation is so well directed. So that was King Oger. King Oger didn't watch. That I did watch. Geats introduced the final form, which looks a lot better in the TV show. I said it last week. Looks a lot better in motion than it does in the promo stuff and in stills. Actually, I think it's my favorite Reiwa era form.
Okay.
I think it's turned out really well. I think final forms, but I think it's turned out really well. Someone was very bored writing this, however. It felt like this was an episode they had to do. The main villain was someone who's shown up for 3 episodes and wasn't very interesting.
Oh.
He was a one-note, ha ha ha, evil. They killed off a long-running villain in a fairly brutal way for a Toku, but still. They had their big grand end, which they've never really confirmed to me how the grand end is as terrible as it is, because like it's cool, everyone loses their memories, but does the world get destroyed as well?
Because if you just lose your memories, it's probably better.
Yeah, because like up until then they were treating it as you'll forget everything. But in this episode, it's kind of treated like, oh my god,
you'll
world
forget
ending.
everything.
You'll forget who you are. But it's like I thought like, oh, they're actually going to like wipe out the timeline this world is on. Like everyone here will die. But Buffa's been basically the main story arc one way or another for 18 episodes or so.
Well, that's what you've been telling me, yeah.
Why? Boy, how did they wrap that up with absolutely no aplomb?
Oh, it's done.
Basically, because he loses his powers and forgets everything.
Oh.
After one scene in the show where he wrote on a blackboard, I'm going to end this.
Oh.
Now, he's going to get his powers back, because of course he is.
Isn't he just going to touch a core and get all of his brain back?
He's going to get his memory back anyway. I don't know if he's going to get his powers back. Because I know they've got what's it going to be called? Buffa Mao is coming.
So is he not dead? Because I thought he was dead.
No, never. No.
No?
He's forgotten everything. Kiwa's forgotten everything, so Tycoon's forgotten everything.
So he's not a Yamato anymore, or like turning into Yamato?
Oh no, he hasn't been a Yamato for like 7 episodes.
Oh, okay.
They also dumped that arc really quickly.
Oh. Okay.
So, but we know Buffa Mao's coming, Tycoon Shogun, and Nago Fantasy. Like Naga's getting a final form. That's nice. I like Nago. It just felt like someone just wanted to get on, and then I read the fucking synopsis for the next episode, and I was so annoyed.
Oh.
Because, like, we've come to the end. Geets has discovered that he's basically all powerful. The actor, by the way, is really telling me he doesn't have the range to do anything beyond, like, the smug dick.
But we know he's super powerful. He's been super powerful since episode 1.
And now he's all powerful.
But what does that mean? He's even more powerful?
Yeah.
Oh no!
And the actor was asked to really emote in this one, and he didn't bring it to snuff. Oh. And I would say, in comparison to other Reiwa actors we've had, he's probably the weakest one, bar Saber. But Saber also had nothing to work with. So
no, yeah.
But guess the synopsis for the next one is: for old time's sake, Ace starts a DGP with no stakes. For fun.
Why?
For fun.
But why?
And then a new villain's coming in as well.
No, but why? And what do you mean a new villain?
For funsies.
How close are we to the end of the show?
Between 12 and 10 episodes, I'd say.
It could be worse. It's still pretty bad to just like. It's like do you remember Go Kaiju, where they just brought in the enemy right at the end and went, oh no, this is a big bad, and you're like, oh god damn it.
Yep.
God
but
damn
Andy, aren't you looking forward to another arc of this, despite the fact you literally just wrapped up the entire fucking game by saying the game is evil and now we've kicked it out of our reality?
Yeah, but more game.
No more game.
No more.
No more game.
People love
too much
games.
Game.
No, people love games.
No, too much game. We have too much game.
No.
We have failed game. I was very curious, like, why is it so many of the Reiwa series are hitting these kind of similar last-minute villain, bad resolution things? And I realized there's one commonality between all the Reiwa series, which is they have the exact same main producer.
I was going to say, is it like a management kind of thing? Because
this is the person who wrote X8. Hell, this is the person who wrote 01, which was good for the first half.
And then COVID destroyed it for the most part.
Yeah, so and they tried damn hard with the Arc 1 to try to salvage it.
Yeah, you can only do so much when COVID happened.
It's still funny to me that 02 matters so little. It was there for 2 episodes and got replaced by a better form.
Yeah,
but just like, hey, we made this form, but it's so wild, so different, so boring. Okay, now he's going to murder everyone. Excellent. But I struggle to believe the writer cannot resolve things. So the only stuff like this was happening in Revice, stuff like this was happening in Saber, stuff like this was happening in 01. And the only commonality is that since Geo, in fact, the second half of Geo, they've had the same producer.
Wow.
And we know that producers in Japanese TV have a lot of fucking... So yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with the show next, but they're going to bring these fucking games to the end of it, despite the fact that they literally just had an arc about how the games need to end.
So then do you fear that Kamen Rider's going to kind of just sit in this kind of weird, depressing, not very good writing hole until this producer either kind of wakes up or goes away?
I would be concerned if I saw their name on the next one.
Yeah.
In fact, they probably are on the next one.
Yeah,
Kamen Rider Gotchard. But I like the visuals in this a lot. The fighting is excellent. Geats is some of the best fucking fights in Rider. Full stop. The fighting choreography and direction and everything else is amazing. I think Geats 9, that's the form. The powers are fun. I really like the fun, the way the powers work. It's cool. It's a cool form. It's the best final form of the last 4 seasons.
But without the story, who cares?
Yeah, it's just there's a simple thing. Why is it Boost?
Boost.
Why is it not Magnum that's being upgraded? Because the power he's most associated with isn't Boost. It's Magnum.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a narrative thing that someone surely there should be he uses he uses Magnum, but he's most attuned to Boost, and that's what Boost is the thing that makes everyone super powerful. So he's most attuned to Boost. Ace is amazing. You can work that in. I'm just frustrated with this show that I can see I like the secondary writers. I like all the secondary writers. I do. I like Buffa. I like Tycoon. I like Nago. I like the actors for the secondary writers. I like the core concept of the show. I liked the when it wasn't hitting the same things every 10 episodes or so, or every 5 episodes now. I liked the core concept of the show. I like the aesthetic of the show. The villains were never amazing, but they were fine.
Yeah.
But the main actor is letting it down, in my opinion, because he's perfectly fine when all he has to do is deliver smug git. But now they've been asking him to do a lot more than that. The direction is great, but the words on the page and the plotting and everything else, it's almost Saber levels of frustrating. It's not Saber levels of bad, because Saber was atrocious in terms of writing, but it is frustrating in some of the ways Saber made me frustrated. Because I just felt like the people involved in this have got to be capable of doing better than this. And the problem is I know the guy involved in this is capable of doing much better than this. So it's frustrating me. It's really, really frustrating. But I'll stick it out. I'm curious. hey, if Mitch Managa's keeping his powers, I'm in for it at least because I like him. I'm happy when he's on screen. But I just feel like someone is disrespecting someone. I don't know if they're disrespecting me or the creators. Anyway. Apart from that, something rather large, which was Into Spider-Verse, or not Into, Across the Spider-Verse. I have Into Spider-Verse ready to watch probably tonight, but Across the Spider-Verse has aired, came out on Thursday. I have seen it. I saw it day one because I didn't want it to be spoiled. For a bit of context, Into the Spider-Verse has gotten down in my list of the best superhero movie ever made many, many times. Not the best animated superhero movie ever made, not the best Spider-Man movie, the best superhero movie, period. It is visually gorgeous, narratively engaging, the characters are great, the humor is funny, the stakes are good. I'm interested in everyone. Spider-Man Noir, was watching clips of him yesterday. Nicolas Cage should only ever play Spider-Man Noir from now on.
No, you can't restrain his talent.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I can.
No.
Because the rumor is he's going to be Superman in The Flash, and I don't want to do that. It's too good for a bloody Snyderverse movie. So if we can just Noir is safe. Noir is fine. He's just sitting there with his chalice belt going I'm a common writer. Yes, we know you're a giant nerd. God, I'll never forget that picture of him going through a Japanese shop going I'm buying this figure art and this figure art and this figure art because I'm Nicolas Cage and I'm rich. But he'd be buying all the third party Jurassic Park toys.
Oh yeah.
But so Across the Spider-Verse, I was fucking terrified of. Because you are doing a sequel to what I consider to be the literal top of the tier. Sequels are frequently a problem, especially when the first movie was good. Because not only do you set a standard, usually people try to just repeat the successes they had. I heard lots of people's reactions after this came out, worried about the way the ending works, character, pacing, stuff like that. So, when I say this, I really want people to know this is the opinion I had with no input, bar I'd seen the original movie. Might be better. I'm not 100% sure how I feel because it's not over. The story isn't over by a long fucking shot.
And it's that thing of you've just seen it as well.
I've just seen it.
Yeah.
I certainly think the story they're telling could be more engaging as a total thing.
If they stick the landing, I guess.
Yeah, well, listen. Even if they weren't doing the split narrative, it's a trilogy. So
is it? I thought it was just 2. Is it 3?
It's 3.
Oh my god! Okay.
Well, they're not dividing. It's 3 movies. It's it's into Across and Beyond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like it's Across Beyond and then movies right now.
Okay, because Into the Spider-Verse is its own movie. It's a complete package. From what I hear, this is not a complete package in a lot of ways because it doesn't have it builds up to a climax and then ends.
I'm not spoiling a damn thing about this movie, so
I'm not asking you to.
No, but basic story opens with Gwen. Introduces us first to the visual styles of the movie, which is as more creative than the first one, because we spend a lot more time in different universes. We see different art styles, different camera angles. We see real life stuff. We see Lego at one point, and Gwen's universe has a lot more water brush effects to it than Miles's. But everything is in there, and colors change with them in a way they don't in Miles's. We see her story. We then switch over to Miles. We spend a long time with Gwen, and then we switch over to Miles. He's the dominant one for the rest of the movie. He gets dragged into this Spider-Verse where he ends up reconnecting with Peter, meeting up with Peter. It's confirmed is now 616, which I find hilarious given the state of the current 616 comics. But meets up with Spider-Man 2099, Miguel, and meets up with the low-level Spider-Man villain, the Spot, who is great in this. Miles is told something. Miles doesn't react to it well. Miles goes to deal with thing. Conflict ensues. Movie ends at basically it's building, and the movie goes, cool, I'll finish this story next week in 9 months. I'm not saying it doesn't have a climax. There are climactic things happening. But it is very much like, because they've said this, they said they had a 5-hour script that they were told, like, okay, you could trim it down into one movie. And said we could, but we would make it shit. Okay, you could do it over 2. Cool, but can we not do it with the, hey, you're into, it's not intended to be a complete story that then leads into another complete story. It is intended to be, this is where the intermission is, come back in 9 months, make sure you rewatch this beforehand. It will pick up pretty much directly after. It ends in a really fucking cool place. I've seen 2 reviews where one person basically said the movie was shit because of that ending. I can't agree. I think the ending works. I think the movie does a very, very good job of tricking you at very point that the ending is not going to play out the way it's playing out. Characters are amazing. The action scenes are basically the best you'll find. I heard a great thing, which was, it was Jeremy Johnson's one. Lots of movies are trying to imitate the Spider-Verse style since 2018, but no one can do it like them. And I kind of agree with that after seeing this movie. I've got a couple of minor complaints, like I wish Peter was in it more. There's a character called Spider-Bite who has kind of important stuff, but she doesn't, it feels a little rushed on her part. I wish we saw a bit more time with different Spider-Men, because it does have a lot of references, a lot of references, but it never does the thing where the movie's about. It's not a Wreck-It Ralph where there's a Disney princess, there's this character, there's Mario, there's Sonic, there's Donkey Kong. You never have that. Like, it's just like, hey, do you know a Spider-Man suit? Look around. There was one moment which was weirdly emotional, despite the fact it was like a 10-second scene of a Spider-Man just saying, yeah, I agree. Didn't appear for the rest of the movie. And I was just like, he's here! But, also, Spider-Rex is in it, which is weird. But Spider-Rex is weird anyway. Spider-Rex is a complicated thing, which is not what is far more complicated than you think it is. Superior is supposed to be in the background. I didn't see him.
I'm sure there are a lot of things in the background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's even characters who came from like fan stuff that are included in this. Okay, here's a huge complaint. Here's a huge complaint. There is no Spider-Man in this.
Oh, they don't have the Japanese one.
He's not in this one. I suspect he'll be in the next one.
There's no Emperor of Doom or Destruction.
There's no Emperor of Doom. There's no Leopardon.
Damn.
You promised us. That's all I'm going to say to that. 90s Scarlet Spider is in this, and he's amazing.
Ben Reilly.
He thinks it's still the 90s.
Oh.
He narrates everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Everything. In an angsty 90s ass, everything is made of pouches kind of way. He's great. Without spoiling it, I can't say anything more about the film. I see why people would be turned off by that ending. I was not. I think it has a fascinating meta commentary about the weird conservatism that is in reinventing characters. How everyone kind of follows the same, like, oh, we're doing this version of Spider-Man, but he's going to hit all the classic Spider-Man. When DC did the Jurassic League, which was What If Dinosaurs, but Justice League, they literally just did What If the Justice League, but they happened to be dinosaurs. Nothing else changed. Isn't
the better idea, like, just make a new character? You don't need to reinvent somebody, just make a new character.
Yeah. It can, the Spider-Man Noir comics, I have read those and they're very, very good. And it gets to play with certain archetypes, but it's just got this commentary in my mind. Some of this I think is me reading too much into it, but some of it I think
that's Elseworld stuff as well, basically. That's Marvel's Elseworld. So
yeah, it is commenting on how the Elseworld tend to be quite conservative and repetitive. There's also probably a not too unsubtle dig at people who argue over what makes someone a real Spider-Man. But yeah, I have been racking my brains how I knock this down to a 9. I can't. It's a 10 out of 10. like I said, depending on how the next one goes, this whole story could be the best superhero movie ever told. Right now, my gut feeling is Into the Spider-Verse is a technically better film, but I think this whole thing is going to be a superior product.
Wait, is the argument about the what makes a Spider-Man when people say Miles Morales is Miles Morales? Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, because no, I agree with them, because that Miguel is Spider-Man 2099. He's not Spider-Man. Spider-Woman is Spider-Woman. Ben Reilly is Spider-Man Ben Reilly or Scarlet Spider. When you say Spider-Man, you think Peter Parker. You will always think Peter Parker. When people say Spider-Man Miles Morales, I'm like, yeah, okay, I know who that is. If you say Spider-Man, it's Spider-Man. It's Peter Parker.
I'm saying this as someone who has no horse in this race because I don't care, because I'll be blunt, the Ultimate Miles Morales books are pretty bad, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm sure.
It started then. It kind of started and it's weirdly, it's spun off into other things. Like, there's currently this thing that is Wally West the Flash or Kid Flash, which is so fucking weird. But it's just
Wally West is the Flash because Barry died.
Yeah, I think I very much the writers have a stance in it. It's weird. The internet is weird. The writers have a stance in it. I do think they are commenting on it relative to it. Again, I have no horse in this race.
Yeah.
I don't like comic book Miles. I adore Spider-Verse Miles. I don't really care about comic book Miles. I really like PS4 Miles.
He's fine. He's okay. I didn't really like his game. I thought it was kind of...
I haven't played it yet. You
haven't played the game?
Well, yeah. No. Just never got around to it. I got it when I was really busy, and I just never did.
The story, I said it then. I'll say it now. The story in that game is not. It's not great. The gameplay is really fun, but the actual story is really kind of meh compared to the previous one.
Well, it's almost like it's just DLC that they decided to bump up.
Yeah, but
price.
You can have good story for DLC.
Yeah, but not the price they were asking for.
No.
But anyway. I'm really frustrated by the fact that clearly everyone else likes it as well, because I cannot find the Miles Morales Marvel Legend to save my life. Oh, there's a million Spider-Punks.
No,
you
Miles. You don't want the Legends. Get out of here.
I don't want the Legends.
No, you don't want the Legends. You want the Mafex one, or you want the Sentinel.
No, I do. But I'm also I'm also an idiot who has impulse control problems, and for 2 days straight, I was just wandering around Smith's going Miles, Peter, Miles, Peter, Miles. Nope. Oh, there's Gwen. No, child walked off of Gwen.
No, you don't want. No.
I could beat up that child.
You need to be worse with your money, Mikey. You need to spend more expensive figures and have a much better time.
Yeah, no, that's I was thinking that today. Just if you really want this, there are excellent figures of really each of the characters from this movie. Yeah. And if you want a Spider-Punk who is also excellent in this, or if you want a Miguel, then I'm sure they'll do one too.
Oh, like the Mafex, Spider-Verse Miles has the full material shorts and the material jacket, so you can have him with the hood. It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. Don't sell for the kind of crappy Hasbro one.
Yeah, overpriced as well. Jesus,
if you told me you were settling for the Miguel, I'd be okay, because the only other option at the moment is to wait for SH Figure Arts to put out theirs, which looks good. But it's that's going to be a while away, and that's probably 6 months out or something crazy anyway. So whatever. I could see you impulse buying the Legends one there, and maybe the Spider-Punk, but otherwise now get the good ones, Mikey. Get the good ones.
I'm going to end up with 300 euros worth of characters just on a desk, and just I've never bought Marvel characters before.
Because you don't have a P2B either, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you can get him fat, and you can get him with his cargo pants if you want.
Yeah, him in his trousers. Oh god, it's a very good movie. Whenever you get the chance to watch it, Andy, stream it, whatever. It is kind of one I would always say, if you can see it in cinema, do, because it does benefit from that big screen. But
I find it hard to find time to be able to leave the house these days because of work. Yeah. But I'll try. I'll tell you another reason why I didn't do it over the past few days, because it was bank holiday. It was half term. Now half term is over. There will be no children, so I should have more freedom to enjoy myself.
I went very late, very, very late, and I sat next to a bunch of other nerds, and this one girl, classic goth, mid-20s goth girl, who spent the entire time just going oh, I get that. And just like, you know what? Any other movie I'd judge this, but no, that is an appropriate response. But yeah, I'll end it there. But yeah, I really like it.
I like the idea of you looking at this goth girl and saying, "Madam, some of us are trying to watch a movie here."
I am trying to enjoy cinema.
And then you pull out like an old school pipe and blow bubbles out of it.
Oh dear. But yeah.
XL Hedge in the comment has a okay hashtag Spider-Verse spoiler free impression. 2099 is a massive dick. Jessica Drew a pushover. Scarlet Spider was done doity. And the quote...
No, I will. You had me until the like. Jess is interesting because I do think she is a bit of a pushover in this. I think that's the character thing. Yes, Miguel is a dick. Scarlet Spider was not done dirty. Scarlet Spider is perfect.
And the quote, and to quote Bioshock, constants and variables bring on beyond the Spider-Verse. Simon Tang says, "Get the Bandai figure art." That's you, Mikey. Get the Bandai figure art. Now, Andy, Mikey wants the figure art Spider-Verse figures. There you go. The chat says it. And no, not Peter B without Mayday and Pink Shower Robe. Well, there's no figure of that yet.
Yeah, that's fucking frustrating as well because I want that now because Mayday's amazing.
I'm sure that'll come.
Mayday's amazing, Andy.
Okay.
Like, also, I love that Mayday is a massive middle finger to the current comics because the current comics are so bad. They are the worst Spider-Man comic in years. I've said this before, and I find it very funny that the best Spider-Man medium has just gone like, fuck you. He has reproduced. The whole proof that Peter Parker has had sex.
You know what I'd always think would have been a neat thing to have done? I would like them to do a Miguel 29. I don't know how easy it would be, but like to do a 29 cartoon show. I'd be interested to see that. Because we've never got it. The closest we got was Spider-Man Unlimited, and that's not the same at all.
No, I do actually think that would be a good idea.
Because I've always liked 29's design. I've always thought it was neat.
Do you know what? He's one of the ones, like, they briefly redesigned him in white, and he's one of the only ones where I thought, like, boat suits look good. I prefer the darker one, but boat suits look good. Yeah, he's fallen out of, like I don't think he's got any media at the moment at all, but also,
makes sense.
I also know for a fact that, boy howdy, is he probably going to get some.
He's just got such a, like, that's a good 90s design right there. It's like, it's really good.
Yep, very, very good. He looks great. Also, they beefed him up in this movie.
I told you. You told me they hadn't changed, and I was like, no, they beefed
I was
him
wrong.
up.
You were right.
He's so, like, his shoulders are so much wider. He hit the gym hard between movies in the CGI artist gym.
Well, like, what he did was he spent like 4 years just pointing at classics cartoon Spider-Man so much that he just beefed up his shoulders.
That's horrifying.
No, you. Oh my god, I'm so buff.
It'd be like the scene from the 90s Spider-Man show where Eddie Brock does the pumping iron, and literally every time he pushes up the weight, he just gets bigger. But with pointing.
Oh my god, my pointing muscles are so large.
Oh, here's a question: are there 2 ending scenes? No ending scenes? Like, what's the deal with credit nonsense? If you know,
didn't see any end credit scene. No.
Okay. I wondered if it's you have to spend to the very end, like with the Marvel films. I
stayed a long time, but there wasn't one, and I was just like, you know what? If there is, it's going to be a gag, and I'm too high right now.
Well, you say that, but the Into the Spider-Verse was Miguel, so...
True, but that was very funny. That was up, yeah. So, I'm just double-checking. No end credit.
Oh, that's strange. I guess maybe they can't because it's a hard to be continued. So yeah, maybe it would have had to have been a gag if they were going to do it.
Yes. So yeah, that was the Spider-Verse.
Does it raise your opinion and make you go, oh man, I've seen a good film at the cinema. I can't wait for Rise of the Beast now.
No. But I'm still going to Rise of the Beast. I might go see, just because for some reason it's the cinema I'm going to for free, again, is also doing an IMAX showing, so I might see the IMAX one for free.
Okay. I hear Sifu's good if you want to see a good action film. It's meant to be quite fun.
I will look into it. I haven't actually heard of that one.
Man versus Nazis. It's not a Swedish guy. It's around that area. A guy finds a vein of gold, and it's near the end of World War II, and he just happens to stumble across a load of Nazis who take his gold from him, and the movie is then him going, no. I don't think he...
hang on, that's just Keanu Reeves and his bloody dog again, isn't it?
Yeah, this is apparently really fun. Like, in the trailer, he throws a mine at somebody. Like, he picks up a mine and throws it at them and it explodes. Apparently, his character doesn't have much dialogue throughout the entire movie. It's more like he's got that look of, you bastard, you don't touch my fucking gold. It's meant to be good. My fucking gold.
Yeah. I will check it out. But yeah, Andy, what about you?
I haven't been up to a huge amount. Been painting more little tiny army men. I've been doing that through the week for fun. I did buy the System Shock remake recently.
I saw you were playing it.
Yeah, I've never played System Shock before, so this was kind of nice to go back to the olden times, but with a new lick of paint, and it's fun. It's got some things where you're like, no, this is based off of an older game, but it's got some kind of new sensibilities to it, like a new lick of paint, and it feels nice and smooth. But if all of the elements in this game were in the original, man, when System Shock came out, it must have been a fucking game changer for how games worked.
Yeah, I heard it did not age well, but I heard like basically it like reinvented things.
Yeah, I can really see why. Like with the amount of stuff you can do. Like while I was playing it, I had some people say that, oh, this is like Doom but slow. I was like, no, it's definitely like BioShock built itself off of it. And it has that kind of BioShock feel, but a bit slower. It doesnent tell you a lot of what's happening, so you'll pick up an item and you have to kind of look to see how it works and what it does, kind of deal. It's kind of interesting floor levels where you have to go around and you find key cards to open doors, and once you open those doors, you kind of go back around and can get new stuff, etc., etc. I accidentally blew up the Earth because I went into a room and there was a big like dispel laser energy, and I was like, yeah, push the button, and it just showed like Earth, and Earth exploded, and Shodan, the evil AI, was like, wahaha, thanks for destroying Earth. Now I'm going to kill you. You instantly die. I guess you gave up the will to live at that point. I would have kept going, but, you know. I might have killed Earth, but, you know. Doesn't mean I have to die. You know. That's how I see it. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know if the audio dialogue for Shodan is taken directly out from the original, but it sounds like what I remember hearing when people played the original, what do you call it, System Shock remake. The basic idea is you're a hacker. You try and hack into a company to get some kind of cyber augmentations to yourself. The cops find you, knock you out, and you wake up on a space station called the Citadel. A guy called something Diego says, hey, do you want that upgrade that you were trying to steal from us? All you got to do, baby, is disable the ethical subroutines on this program AI controlling this station called Shodan. What could go wrong?
I was going to say, that does not seem wise.
Now, you wake up and there are mutants who clearly used to be the crew members. Shodan seems a little bit crazy, talking about how it's a god, or I don't know. She sees herself as a god. She frequently talks about seeing herself as a god. As she's recreating humanity by turning them into cyborgs, as some of the crew have got cybernetic implants. She's also developing a retrovirus to mutate or kill people, and also has a laser aimed at Earth to destroy Earth the way she wants.
Is this because you turned off her ethical subroutines?
I would hope that would be the reason, because if that's not the reason, I'd be really concerned.
She was just doing this to start off with, and just like, now you've turned off her subroutines. Oh, God.
No, you turn off the ethical subroutines. It's just, I don't feel bad about it now.
We're just like, well, I was doing it already, but now I felt kind of like, oh, God.
Conscience is clear now.
Weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, boy. No, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's an interesting little game. Also got like a little bit cheaper than getting it directly off Steam. So if you've ever been tempted to try out System Shock, this is a game that was kickstarted and has been in Kickstarter for a long time. So it's nice that it finally came out. Oddly enough, it came out around the same time as Street Fighter 6, which I have zero interest in, unfortunately. I just don't like how Street Fighter looks these days, unfortunately. And it's the models that's been it. That's been the week, I'm afraid. as usual. It's just work and all that jazz. Hopefully next week I'll be able to talk about Into the Spider-Verse and lay down my thoughts. I hope. Maybe we'll get to see. If there are any questions in chat, poop them in now. We will start wrapping up the show. Mikey, where can find you on the internet if you want them to?
Yeah, I'll just say we got a comment from Picky Peeves over on the Moonbase 2
you
email.
bullied them into it.
I did, but it's actually like only semi-Transformers related. It's to do with dinosaurs, like actual asking me for feedback on something. So I'm just saying, like, Picky Peeves, if you're listening, I noticed, I just haven't answered yet, because you sent this 11 days ago and I didn't notice. So now I've
Hateful,
noticed.
Mikey.
Hateful, yes. I have a picture of Picky Peeves on my wall, and sometimes I just stab it.
Jesus, wow.
No reason.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah.
If you want to contact me, it's Irish Paleo on Twitter or the Moonbase 2 on Twitter. And also you can email us at themoonbase2@gmail.com, and you can also contact us on Facebook and Libsyn on Patreon on Weebly and everywhere else. We always love a bit of feedback or a bit of questions or a bit of comments. Yeah. Andy, what about you?
Well, we have a question from Simon Tang asking, what about the Arctic bat? Are you excited for the Trouble Bubble? Yeah, these were reveals from the G.I. Joe line of things. They showed off a Arctic bat. There were a couple of other things, but not nearly as interesting as those two things. The Arctic bat has some interesting accessories, I think. I wouldn't need it because it's a variation of the already kind of okay bat. I like that it has a chainsaw. The new head sculpt's really cool on it. I like the fact that it can lie down and aim through a sniper rifle. That's pretty cool as well. But it's not something I need to have. The Trouble Bubble, however, I don't think I'll be able to get one just purely on the basis that everybody's going to be buying it. Everybody's going to be buying multiple of them. But it looks what I would want. It's got the Televiper. I don't really care too much about the Televiper. He's got some different faces. So he's got white guy face, he's got black guy face, and then he's got masked man face.
Masked man face.
Yeah, where you don't see any skin. It's just covering up the mouth. So, that's all we've done. Trouble Bubble looks great. It looks as stupid as it always has. A couple of missiles, rail minigun thing. I mean, it's not going to do much. I mean, it never did. And the figure looks a little awkward sitting in it. His legs just kind of dangle. Just because of where the edge of the seat is placed. But overall, I think it looks really fun. I still think that the G.I. Joe line is doing really well for itself. I just wish they didn't ump the price, because there's a load that came out recently that I didn't want to pay the extra money for because it was only on Hasbro Plus. I think they'll come around to being properly released at some point and come back down in price, hopefully. But I don't want to pay inflated price on these because they were already pretty expensive in my eyes. But yeah, I like the look of them both. So you can find me on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, and Libsyn for Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. I'm also on YouTube and Twitch as Decade Andy, a rotten corpse of a human being, not a 10-year period. We are also on ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go through that way. And there's also the Patreon, which is Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. And if you do $2 each month, you can help support the show and all that jazz. So, with that being said and diddly done, thank you everybody for watching. We will be back here again next week at 8 o'clock in the evening UK time, where you can join the people and talk along with us while we talk about things. I don't know what things there'll be next week, but hopefully some good stuff.
Zombies.
Yeah, maybe zombies. Maybe. There might be a new zombie game. Until then, thank you, Mikey, for joining me.
Sure. I mean, I do it all the time, really. I don't really think thanking me at the moment is really particularly... It just seems irrelevant, really.
It's polite and kind, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why, again, another reason to be really suspicious.
Yeah, you should always be suspicious. That's what I did. Oh, there was one other thing I did. I watched some more episodes of Prodigy.
Oh, what do you think?
I don't like it. Still don't like it. I got
to the Farscape.
I don't know. No, it just feels bad. It just feels maybe not bad. It feels mediocre. I got up to the episode where they land on a planet and there are a load of vines. Where the vines make the kids, like, it gives them their deepest desire. So Rock Person sees a bunch of fluffy animals that love her. Tellarite guy finds a big cup of his old mum's soup, which he begins to eat. And the robot sees a big energy pylon thing or something like that. And, and the mean main bad guy's daughter breaks out and commandeers the ship. And the ship gets kind of taken down by these vines, and they're stuck on the planet now. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. This is it.
Not a fan.
No, I don't like it. It's got the new Trek feel rather than a more Star Trek feel to it. You know, which I hate new Trek. I hate it with a burning passion. I hate the way that conversations are written and everything like that, and dialogue's done. I just can't tolerate it. And it definitely feels like it drips into that camp of how scripts are done these days, which I hate. So, I mean, that was probably like episode 4 or 5. How far did you get?
2, I think.
So you got through the 2-part beginning episode, or was that just...
Yeah, I didn't really watch anything else.
Okay, I didn't think it'd get any better. If someone wants to correct me and say that it gets better, tell me an episode where it gets better. Don't just say it gets better. There has to be a point where you can go, episode 5 is where it turns itself around. Then I can watch it and judge your opinion and go, no. But yeah, that's it. Okay. Thank you, Mikey, for coming. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'm done with Star Trek bitching, and we'll see you next time, everybody.
Woohoo!
Beam me up, Mikey.